whilst he was keen, he was patently unfit. I don't think he had eaten well and was all skin and bone. The losses at Isandlwana meant we took men we would not have in previous drafts. I used the men who had been in South Africa to lead the march, and I stayed at the rear to encourage Albert and another of the weaker men, Leonard Jones. Neither was fast, and a gap opened up before us. I felt that the forced march was unfair, as the new men had only joined us a fortnight earlier. They were still learning. "Come on, boys. You're doing well. Take it one step at a time and just count your steps until we reach the top of that rise, eh?" Neither answered me as they were both out of breath, but they gritted their teeth and tried to catch up with the redcoats ahead of us. Lieutenant Harding Smythe had stopped to allow his horse to drink from a farmer's trough, and I heard him galloping up behind. "This won't do, Roberts. These two are 40 yards behind the others. Make them march faster." "Sorry, sir, but they're doing the best that they can." "Nonsense. You just need to encourage them." It happened that Albert was the last man, and the lieutenant rode behind him and smacked his back hard with the cane he carried. The lieutenant was a good rider. The blow came as a shock to Albert, who fell forward and hit the ground hard. I helped him to his feet. "Now you are even further behind. Get on, move on, man." Albert was hurt. His hands had scraped along the ground and his nose was bleeding. "Sir, the man needs medical attention." "Then he will have to run hard, for we still have 3 miles to go." What I did next exacerbated the problem. I can see it now, but at the time I felt sorry for the lad from Lancashire. "Here, Albert, give me your gun." It was little enough, but the gun he carried was heavy. It weighed 9 pounds, and with his grazed hands was a weight he could do without. "What are you doing, Corporal?" "Sir, I am helping the private and trying to minimise the effect of the fall, sir." I added quietly, "Come on, son, not far to go." "Right, Corp." It was a supreme effort, but we gradually caught up with Jones, who had almost caught up with the others. I wondered how, and then realised that the rest of the section was helping us. They were looking after one of their own and had slowed down. When we reached the camp, I said, "Private Hepplewhite, go and see the MO. The rest of you fall in." I stood and watched as they shuffled into their lines. The lieutenant did not dismount, but rode along the length of them. "I can see that I have inherited the worst and most slovenly soldiers in the army. Let me tell you that I will make you the best, or I will break you. Do you understand?" They remained silent, and he glared at me. "Are they being insolent, Corporal? Why do they not answer?" "Against Queen's regulations, sir." He rode over to me and put his cane under my chin. "I do not like you, Corporal Roberts. I shall see the Colonel about having you removed from my section." I said, "That is your right, sir." He glared at me. "Tomorrow we shall see if they can drill. I want them all to spend the next 3 hours drilling. Do you understand, Corporal?" "Yes, sir." He had made the mistake of keeping his face close to mine, and when I barked my response, he recoiled. The men were not stupid enough to laugh out loud, but smiles crept across their faces, and he saw it. When he had gone, I did as he had ordered. By the time we had finished, they were perfect, even Leonard Jones. As I dismissed them, he said, "Thanks for that, Corporal. I'll do better the next time." I smiled. "Don't worry about it. If I had been asked to do a forced march in my first month, I would have still been puking my guts up." I sought the advice that night of Colour Sergeant Windridge. He shook his head. "Sorry about this, Jack, but there's naught we can do about him. Hopefully the Colonel will see what he is like and have a quiet word. I will see Lieutenant Bourne and ask him to see the Colonel." The lieutenant had been Colour Sergeant Windridge's predecessor and had been the best soldier in the regiment. I went to bed feeling better. What I did not know was the Colour Sergeant would not see the lieutenant until the next day. The MO put salve on Hepplewhite's hands and bandaged them. What he did not do was give him a chitty to excuse duty. I had the section up and ready before the lieutenant arrived for his inspection.